Hello, this is your painter in residence here, M. Francis McCarthy, and we're going to save a failed painting today. You're looking at a painting that I did back in 2015. I think it was April or so, and I worked so hard on this, and I was not able to get it right. This is 5 years ago. What you're seeing me do right now is one of my favorite things to do when I'm going to revise a painting, and that is rub it down with burnt sienna. And then I'm doing a little bit of cad yellow as well. So this is not exactly a glaze in that it's basically knocking back some of the darks. This painting is going to go through a radical transformation, which you probably already saw in the thumbnail. I finished this revision process yesterday, and yeah, I thought it'd be a good one to share since this painting represents so much struggle and so many of the things that I'm always warning you about and warning you to avoid. First of all, as much as I tried, I couldn't get away from lollipop tree syndrome. It is a circle on a stick. Also, it resembles a Pac-Man, and I saw this in a reference. I saw it all the way through, and I thought I had done my best. You can see how I tried to make the tree shape somewhat irregular, but it just didn't work out. And the other thing that you really can see in that initial reference, which is rapidly disappearing by the way, is, well, maybe you can't see, but I know that it's based on this photo I took, okay? And there's so many things with it that just don't work. In spite of, I can see all of the effort I put into it, most of which is just going to disappear. It's basically almost functioning as just a just a surface to do an entirely new painting on. Because this tree I just put in bears very little resemblance. I did keep now it was a walkway in the original, and I made it a little stream in this one. And what's kind of fun about this is I had a few things up to look at, but they maybe gave me the idea for that tree mass. Ooh, we're missing time. We're missing time. That's okay. Hang with me. You can see what I did. I basically just made what I had much, much darker. And the color that I'm using there is Black Spinel, which I really love. And I love it because I can paint quite thin with it, but it still has some good coverage. It dries quickly. It's really the best black ever. It's everything that Ivory Black is not. And I could have made Ivory Black work on this as well. I don't mean to diss you, Ivory Black. I still love you. I still use you. I'll still buy you. Heck, you know. Ivory Black seems fine in mixes, but when I try and use it straight up, I've had all sorts of issues with it. Anyway, I wanted to bring you a 15-minute video. We've got a live one up. I'm kind of sort of doing it every other thing, and there were a lot of ambitious things I tried to do in the original painting we're revising. I had like reds against greens against purples. I had a lot of ideas, and I guess that's maybe going to be the theme of what we're going to talk about today. Is like, this is 2015, so I started painting in 2008, but really in earnest in 2009. So I would have done the original painting 6 years into my painting journey. I moved out to New Zealand in 2010, and was painting basically almost every day except one day a week I would take off. So that represents a heck of a lot of 5 years of solid painting to still produce something that pretty much didn't work. It didn't work well at all. Um, I have to say I'm at a much better place now, but I still do paintings that don't always work now. And the thing is, though, I've kind of failed every which way. And this is why I know I'm a broken record, but we're getting new trust me, we're getting new subscribers pretty much every day. So those of you that have been with me a while, just say, oh yeah, okay, I know what he's going to say. You can just say it along with me. Um, you've got to paint a lot to get the experience. To fail, you need to fail all the time. And I have a student I'm working with now, and super talented person, and great concepts, and a really, really good drawer. Was not really working with oils. In fact, that's the reason they came to me, was to become more accomplished with the oils, and or just to even learn how to use them. And it's just funny to see, I can empathize, with the struggle and with the frustrations, because that's me too. It's all of us, right? You want to succeed, and it's very frustrating when you don't. And what's funny, looking at the original that I'm revising here, is the myriad of little strokes that did not save the painting, because the actual structure of the composition was flawed. Maybe not the worst composition I've ever seen, but flawed nonetheless. You can see one decision I'm making there, which is to lower the sky. And so in this revision process, you're seeing this is like, I have some inputs coming into me I usually have like 3 different painting references up in the on my computer screen. No one of them dictated exactly what I was going to do, but so I have a feeling of kind of lostness, and I'm hearing the neighbor. He's practicing his guitar. You won't be able to hear it, but I'm going to have to close this window here. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'd help, because I'm hearing the lower frequencies of his... I don't know. He's struggling. So, this is the thing. You're going to do good paintings all the way down the line, though. And that's why I had done some good paintings in 2015. I'd have to dig them up. But this one, it was bad. And this was a study for an 8x10, which is probably sitting in a box, which is also bad. At some point, I've got to start digging up some of these 8x10s and revising them as well. Probably using the revised 5x7 study as a template. But one decision that came to me here that I think was really good was not to even have any hills at all. So I just pretty much removed them and made it sky. I've got like a little field with a little clump of trees in the distance, and this is something I was picking up on. This was a couple weeks ago. I think I revised this, or last week. It's hard to say, but okay, you don't want, like, how can I say this to make sense? Like in that distance, in a lot of your photos, sometimes you'll have a bar of trees, which will be kind of close and not that far. But that doesn't give you any sense of depth, okay? So that's something I was figuring out very much this week, is like, and I've got a live one that I've just, well, I didn't finish it. It's definitely one that's going to require extra passes, but it's in a state I can share it with you. And that had a case where I had to insert a little distant scene into the painting, and that was based on, the realization I had when I was doing these redos, and all of them I managed to get a lot more depth. They look like, even though this is 5x7, it looks like it could be any size, because the proportions in it feel good, and they actually cleave to a more traditional approach to the landscape. And these guys didn't have photos, they didn't have focal lengths, they didn't have any of that. They just had, in most cases, maybe a few etchings from some masters, or they'd gone to museums and things and done some sketching, or they made a lot of observations from nature. And the thing is, when this is one reason why a lot of the plein air guys have got a leg up on the rest of us that are using photo references. They are perceiving things in a more correct manner than you can get with a photo, which is, the other thing I'm most harping on this particular channel is I use photos as reference. I was using a photo today as reference, but so if you're using photos as reference, you really better become quite adept at realizing what their limitations are and where you need to deviate, and what really most importantly, what you need to just stay away from 100%. Okay, so this looks like the next day. Well, not the next day. This is this week, basically, a couple days ago. I coated it with, so I had all this black. I had reestablished stuff, but what I found when I was trying to do foliage over the top of the black is that it had gone through such a radical transformation that because the black hadn't set up, when I tried to put foliage over the top, it was just kind of going through into the old original paintings. So there's quite a few like that, and one of which I went after, actually two today. So I'll be putting a lot of these revision videos up because it's been pretty exciting and for me quite dramatic. This was a painting originally I wanted to throw away quite a few times, but I just knew how hard I worked on it. I had a lot of good ideas too, and I had a lot of little strokes. And there's another thing I'm always trying to point out to you is you could put every detail in the world into the thing, but if the big things aren't compositionally working well, you're just wasting your time. You're wasting everyone's time that has to look at it, including your mom. And she'd probably say, "Oh, that's very nice. You know, I like your painting very much." You know, but she's her mom. She's not being straight with you. No, and neither are a lot of your friends, because they probably value your friendship and they know that you're very sensitive about your art. But good old Uncle Mike is going to tell you how it is. And we put so much focus and attention into the wrong things. This is just inevitable. There's no real escape from that. So that's why the only escape from it is just to work your way through it. And what to me is like super rewarding is knowing that, oh, so check it out. I just did a scumble on that distant bit there. You saw how dark it was, and now it's got a lot more light. So what I've introduced is some atmosphere to the equation. And looking at it, I probably could have even gone further, but that was a massive good idea, because things are setting up different planes now, you know. And this is a lesson I knew probably. I wasn't that. Actually, I can see how looking at this 2015 painting, I can see how I had tried to do that with those distant hills. I knew that I didn't want them strong and black, but even knowing something, you may not know it as thoroughly as you need to know it to do work at a super high level. Now, which, you know, me making a statement like that implies that I think I'm doing work at a really high level. I'm doing work at a decent level. How about that? You know, there's certainly folks out there that, you know, are better than I am, and a heck of a lot more that are worse. So I'm happy to share what I've learned, and I'm learning all the time. I just learned some major stuff last week, which is going to inform every painting I do going forward. So how valuable is that? You know, this is why painting is so exciting. There's a lot of things, I guess. I don't know. I don't have like a lot of mechanical aptitude, so I guess I can't talk about that. But I imagine if you were like working on cars or whatever, you'd be getting ever greater levels of comprehension and the ability to fix things and solve problems. And that's what painting is. I mean, every painting presents you with an almost infinite set of problems, and everything you do affects everything else, and the interrelationships are mind-boggling. I mean, so much so that if you were to break it down mathematically, it wouldn't be logical to even attempt it. Anyway, I want to thank those of you that have been giving me donations and leaving comments. It really means a lot to me. It's Google likes it, and you know, I enjoy the channel. I enjoy the interacting with you know, you that are subscribed to the channel. And I think I'm a bit of a natural teacher. I've always felt a compulsion to share what I know. And so, and you know, not to mention the big know-it-all. But you know, I thought I knew. I don't know if I put this up on YouTube. I was putting YouTube videos up in 2015. I might have to do a search and see if this is on the channel. I'm betting I didn't though. I think I've had a problem with this for a while, even after I did it. So, Pac-Man tree. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. You can go to my website. Sunday, I'm committing to it. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to be redoing the store. And so you're going to see some super fresh stuff there. And also hopefully a new layout. I've really been meaning to wrangle with it. So until I get back this way with another video, well, if you're looking for something else to do, you can watch any of the other 500 something odd videos on the channel. Yeah, I don't think we've hit 600 yet, but it's easily 500. Anyway, till I come back with a new video, please take good care of yourself, your family, your loved ones. Love your enemies as well. And while you're doing all that, please stay out of trouble.